Behind the heavy steel doors of South Korea's combat information centers, military analysts are rewriting their strategy for a silent, growing threat. For years, the world marked North Korea's naval capability as a collection of rusty relics. But deep inside the classified archives of Seoul, intelligence agencies are racing to decode the blueprint of an experimental ghost from the past that changed the balance of power on the peninsula forever. The race began in 1980, when a satellite image over the Najin shipyard shocked Western intelligence. Emerging from the dry dock was not a standard patrol craft, but a massive, highly unconventional twin-hull warship known as the Soho-class frigate. Why did a nation with a failing economy build a complex catamaran hull that even global superpowers hesitated to mass-produce? The answer lies in the brutal hydrodynamics of the East Sea. This deep, unforgiving body of water regularly generates heavy swells that can easily destabilize conventional vessels. By utilizing a dual-hull catamaran design, North Korean engineers created an incredibly stable platform capable of slicing through rough waters while maintaining precise weapon accuracy. The Soho class was not meant to look pretty. It was designed to be a highly lethal, indigenous coastal predator built to survive where others would capsize. It was a radical leap in naval architecture that caught the South Korean military completely off guard, forcing Seoul into an expensive, high-stakes naval arms race. Before we go on, do you believe this advanced warship can truly secure a nation's maritime future, or is it just an expensive target in a modern conflict? Subscribe now to stay updated on this unfolding geopolitical shift. And tell me where you are watching from. To understand the terrifying reality that South Korea faced, we must look at the immense payload packed onto the wide deck of the Soho-class frigate. North Korea did not just want a stable ship, they wanted a floating arsenal. Despite a displacement of only 1,640 tons, this catamaran was armed with 4 massive Soviet-made Styx anti-ship missile systems. The Styx was a weapon designed with a single goal: to break a major surface combatant completely in half with a single strike. To protect this deadly payload, the ship carried a heavy configuration of rapid-fire guns, including a 100mm main gun, 4 twin 37mm anti-aircraft autocannons, and 4 25mm autocannons. Most remarkably, the wide rear deck of the dual-hull design provided enough space for a helicopter landing pad, a feature almost unheard of for a vessel of this size in the 1980s. This allowed the Soho class to deploy submarine hunting helicopters, creating a major protective shield against South Korean naval infiltration. The response from Seoul was swift and desperate. To counter this heavily armed northern predator, the Republic of Korea Navy immediately launched the construction of the Ulsan-class frigate. South Korean shipbuilders chose a completely opposite design philosophy. Instead of a dual hull, they built a highly streamlined single-hull vessel. To match the threat, they packed the Ulsan class with 8 high-precision Harpoon anti-ship missiles and rapid-fire 76mm guns. But the true secret weapon of the Ulsan class was its speed. Powered by massive gas turbine engines, the South Korean ship could cut through the water at an incredible 34 knots. It was a high-speed hunter designed to intercept and eliminate the Soho class before the North Korean catamaran could ever lock its heavy Styx missiles onto a target. As the high-speed race peaked in 1982, a sudden geopolitical shockwave shattered South Korea's tactical confidence. Halfway across the world, the Falklands War erupted in the South Atlantic, revealing a catastrophic design flaw that changed naval warfare forever. When a single anti-ship missile struck the British destroyer HMS Sheffield, the intense heat ignited the aluminum components within the warship superstructure. The metal melted quickly, generating toxic gases that rendered damage control completely impossible and turning the vessel into an unquenchable furnace. The naval command in Seoul was struck by panic. To achieve their incredible speed of 34 knots and carry a heavy weapon payload, the engineers of the Ulsan-class frigate had constructed its entire upper hull using the exact same lightweight aluminum alloy. Suddenly, South Korea's pride was exposed as a fragile glass cannon. A single successful Styx missile strike from the North Korean Soho-class frigate would not just damage the Ulsan, it would ignite the entire ship, destroying the command center within minutes. This structural crisis forced a complete shift in South Korea's maritime strategy. Seoul had to downplay this massive vulnerability while shifting from aggressive surface interception to extreme caution. They turned to advanced Western radar and electronic warfare systems, realizing they had to detect and eliminate the North Korean threat from maximum range before the enemy could ever fire. Meanwhile, the Soho class maintained its presence under an absolute blanket of secrecy. For nearly 3 decades, Pyongyang carefully guarded its Catamaran, ensuring that no close-up photographs were ever released to foreign intelligence agencies. This intentional ambiguity left Western and South Korean analysts guessing, turning the solitary dual-hull frigate into a highly effective psychological deterrent that successfully masked the gradual decay of North Korea's conventional fleet during the economic hardships of the late 1990s. By the year 2009, satellite reconnaissance confirmed that the solitary Soho-class frigate had finally disappeared from active service. It was either dismantled for scrap or utilized as a target vessel, ending its nearly 3-decade watch in the dark waters of the East Sea. Many naval historians believed that this exotic catamaran experiment was a dead end for Pyongyang's naval ambitions. However, looking at the shifting balance of power today, the strategic legacy of the Soho class has not vanished. It has evolved into a far more dangerous reality. The foundational DNA of the Soho class, which prioritized maximum asymmetric firepower on a specialized hull, is now standard practice for the modern North Korean fleet. We can observe this direct evolution in the recently deployed Amnok-class frigates and the massive 5,000-ton Choe Hyon class destroyers. Pyongyang is no longer trying to copy traditional Western or South Korean designs. Instead, they are stuffing an extreme number of vertical launch cells onto their warships, carrying strategic cruise missiles capable of delivering nuclear warheads. This relentless focus on overwhelming firepower echoes the exact design philosophy of the 1980s Catamaran. The legacy of the Soho class continues to panic naval planners in Seoul because it proved that an isolated nation could successfully exploit engineering anomalies to create major strategic headaches for superior forces. South Korea has been forced to spend billions of dollars upgrading its multi-layered missile shields and Aegis destroyers just to counter these floating missile batteries. The ultimate lesson of this naval duel is that military technology does not develop in a vacuum, but in a continuous cycle of action and reaction. Now, as North Korea transitions its fleet towards strategic nuclear deterrence on the high seas, can South Korea's technological superiority permanently contain this evolving threat? Or will the North's next asymmetric naval leap tilt the balance of power entirely? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.